In the next 10,000 years, the star which Earthlings have named WOHG 64 will explode as a supernova. The planet was inhabited by creatures who were very similar to those in the book Flatland. However, on this planet, the creatures were all rectangles of various dimensions. To locate a planet capable of sustaining life for their people, a spaceship from a planet orbiting WOHG 64 traveled 160,000 light years to reach our solar system. One alien was left behind on each of our solar system's 8 planets and 2 of our dwarf planets, Ceres and Pluto. Are you happy now? The alien who was left behind on Earth noticed rectangular-shaped objects mounted on poles along the roads. One stated, "Free concert in the park on Saturday." Another stated, "Garage sale." So what did the alien see? Signs? Okay. In order to be inconspicuous, she took the shape of a similar rectangle, 18 units wide by 24 units long. At first, this planet seemed perfect, but exposure to Earth's atmosphere caused something very strange to happen. After exactly 1 hour, the alien split in half. Now there were 2 aliens, each one half as big as the original alien. After another hour, each of those 2 aliens split in half. Now there were 4 smaller aliens. After each hour, each alien split in half again. You were to model what happened to the number of aliens and the size of each alien by repeatedly cut each of your aliens in half. Guys, we're not literally cutting aliens in half. We're just going to be cutting paper in half. Because I think that cutting aliens in half would be murder. I don't want any of us going to jail today. Or most of us. Okay, complete the table as you make each set of cuts. Use this table for the 2 graphs on the following pages. The first graph will show the number of aliens with respect to time, and the second graph will show the size of the aliens with respect to time. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to zoom out so you can see a little bit easier. Whoa. Here's my alien. You guys have your aliens? I'm going to move this for a second. Here's my alien. I mean, you can if you want. You can even draw like a face on it. But that seems like really weird because you know you're going to cut it in half. I mean, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying. Okay? But what are we going to write on this, though, however, before we even start? What's the length of this? What are we going to say the length is? 18. And what's the length of this? 24. So we want to identify that so that we can figure stuff out as we go. Okay? So, when the alien first landed, there was 1 alien, and the area of the alien was 432. Where in the world did they get that? 18 times 24, right? And then 1 hour happened. What happened to the alien? Cut in half. Cut your alien in half, please. Again, not the physical alien, just the piece of paper. So now I have 2 aliens, right? What's the length of this side of the alien? That's still 18, isn't it? But what's the length of this side of the alien now? 12. So on my table, how many aliens do I have now? So after the first hour, I have 2 aliens. What's the area of each alien? 18 by 12, which is what? 216. Guys, just for the record, we're going to ignore this column for just a second. We're going to gather all of our data first, and then we'll go back and mess with that column, okay? Then, another hour passed. Dun, dun, dun. What happened to the aliens? They got cut in half. So now how many aliens do I have? 4 aliens. Well, now this one is not 18 anymore, is it? What is it? It's 9. So it's 9 by 12. So how many aliens do I have? 4 aliens. And what's the area of each alien? 108. And how did you get that? 9 times 12. Okay. Then another hour passed. I know, it seems like time is going by so fast right now, right? It's okay. It's just because you're in algebra and having so much fun. Okay. So, in half again. You okay? Okay. Okay, now this one's not 12 anymore. What is it? 6. So it's still 6 and 9, right? So how many aliens do I have? 8 aliens. And what's the area of each alien? 54. Because of 9 times 6. Everybody okay with that? And then another hour. Okay, how many aliens do I have now? I have 16 aliens. And this one used to be the 6 by 9, but now it's 6 by 4.5, right? Because half of 9 is 4.5. So what is 6 times 4.5? 27. And then another hour. See, I told you time goes so fast when you're having fun. I don't know how it feels to be split in half every hour because I am not an alien. Okay, here was that one that we just had. All right, how many aliens do we have? 32 aliens. Well, I just counted 8 by 4. So, sorry. Okay, here's what we used to have. We just had 4.5 by 6, but now that 6 is now 3. So I have 4.5 by 3. 13.5. So I have 32 aliens, and the area of each alien is 13.5. Time again, it's the last hour, isn't it? At least that we're taking data for, thank goodness, because these scissors are getting hard to cut through these aliens. I mean, are you guys going to be okay? I do have tissues if you need them. They won't help. They'll just stop you from crying. Yikes. How about if just nobody bullies anyone? Are you even doing anything or just sitting there? Guys, I think it's even weirder that you're giving your aliens names and then cutting them in half. Oh, you're naming all 64 of them? Oh my goodness sakes. Okay, how many aliens do we have? 64 aliens. And this is the one that I had before, and it was 4.5 by 3. But now it's 2.25 by 3. 6.75. Okay. All right, now here's the thing. We're done with our aliens. I would prefer that none of the aliens end up on the floor. I know about that. It's okay. Yeah. This is what your table should look like. So maybe make sure your table looks like this. Okay? Does your table look like this? Okay, so can we go on? So what we eventually want is this box right down here. Okay? This is the important box right down here. But let's use this column as a pattern to figure that out. Okay? It wants us to write the number of aliens, so this column right here, in exponential form. Okay? It wants us to write the number of aliens in exponential form. Well, if we're writing in an exponential form, what two things do we need? Well, exponential form means we need a base and an exponent, right? Okay? So what do you think we might use as a base in this problem? Neither. Why do you think we ought to use 2? Because it's doubling, right? The number of aliens is doubling every time, right? So this one to me is the easiest one to see. Is it the easiest one to see for you? 2 to the first power is 2. What about this? How would I write this as 2 to something? 2 to the second. And what about this one? 2 to the third. Okay, do you know this off the top of your head, or are you seeing a pattern? Okay, so are you seeing one pattern, or are you seeing 2 patterns? Tell me the pattern that you're seeing. Exponents are increasing by 1. But that's exactly right. The exponents are also the same as the number of hours. Do you see that? Excellent. So 2 to the 5th and 2 to the 6th. The reason why that's excellent is because what is this one now? Absolutely 2 to the n. Okay? And if you didn't see that pattern before, we would just be totally guessing on this one, wouldn't we? Okay? How are you feeling about this table right here? So what's the one we need to fill in? Are you confident about that? Good. Why is it 2 to the 0? So there's 3 reasons, right? There's 3 reasons. First of all, anything to the 0 power is 1, so 2 to the 0 makes sense. But if you didn't remember that, you could say, well, what if I'm going backwards this way by exponents? What should this one be? 2 to the 0. But what if we thought about this equation that we just came up with, 2 to the n? Shouldn't it be 2 to the number of hours? And the number of hours is 0, right? There's multiple reasons that we could figure out to know that that's 2 to the 0. Hopefully you remembered that 2 to the 0 is 1. Okay, you ready to go on? So right now we're talking about aliens, the number of aliens as a function of time. Okay? Anytime that tells you a sentence like that, it's telling you the y value versus the x value. The number of aliens as a function of time. Okay? So y, not really x, but as a function of x. Okay? So it says complete the table on the previous page. Okay, done. And use it to answer the following questions. All right? After how many hours will the alien population be 512? You want to guess? You want to use a calculator? Okay. People in previous classes have been using the table that we just did. Because they said, well, 2 to the 6th was 64. 64 is not really that far away from 512 if you're multiplying by 2, right? So they said 2 to the, 7th? Well, what is 2 to the 7th? If 2 to the 6th is 64, what is 2 to the 7th? 128. So what's 2 to the 8th? 256. And then what's 2 to the 9th? Ah. Was that guessing? Kind of, right? It's intelligent guessing, right? Using the table that we just had, just going on up the table. Now, I don't want to use this way if it's asking after how many hours would the alien population be like in the millions, right? Because that would be way far down on the table. But this is a good start, right? So what's my answer? 9 hours. Okay? Now, then it says explain how you determined your answer. I know how important it is, you know how important it is to be able to write a sentence of explanation, right? But isn't this my explanation? Right? Is it okay sometimes in math class to use math as our explanation? Showing our work, right? Okay. How large will the alien population be after 12 hours? 2 to the 12th. What is 2 to the 12th? 4,096. And what do I want you to write after that? Aliens. Why do I want you to write that? That's what it's asking, right? We're being specific about what it's asking. So what about after 24 hours? 2 to the 24th, which is 16,777,000. What's the rest? 216 aliens? Oh my gosh, we're being overrun by aliens. Is the alien population growing at a constant rate? Well, I'll give you a hint. One of those answers is right. Either yes or no. What does it mean to change by a constant rate? So you're telling me yes because I went down the table and each time I added the same number. Oh, is that constant then? No, it's not. Why is it not a constant change? I'm multiplying by the same thing each time. What would it have to be a constant rate if I'm adding something by the same thing or subtracting? Okay? So is this changing by a constant rate? So if it was changing by a constant rate, what would its graph look like? It would look like a line because a line has a constant change, right? Okay, well then we can check our answer by graphing then, right? Okay, so after 0 hours, right when the alien got here, how many aliens were there? 1 alien. After 1 hour, how many aliens were there? 2. After 2 hours, how many aliens were there? 4, so almost a half, right? After 3 hours, how many aliens? 8, so almost a 10, but not quite. After 4 hours, 16 aliens. So a little bit over half, between 10 and 20, right? After 5 hours, how many aliens were there? 32, so above the 30. And then after 6 hours, how many aliens? 64, so it's almost half, between 60 and 70. Look at that right now and tell me it's a line. I mean, you can, but you'd be lying, right? It is exponential, isn't it? Specifically growth, like you said, okay? Should the points on the graph be connected with a smooth curve? Why? Oh, so the alien only changes on the hour? There, can you have minutes though? Can you have partial time? You can, but not in this problem, right? Yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, yes, you can have minutes. But in this problem, we don't talk about minutes because the alien only changes on the hour, right? And what were you saying, Bella? What were you saying? I thought you said something about a part of an alien. Can you have a part of an alien? No, it's just an alien, right? People earlier said, well, it would look weird. Well, it's an alien. It's going to look weird. Weirdos. So answer this question then. Should the points on the graph be connected with a smooth curve? No. If not, why should they remain unconnected? You can't have part of an alien. Provide at least one reason to explain your answer. Hayden. Say it again. So they only split on the hour. Is that okay? They only split on the hour. Good? Questions? So you have the rest. Okay? You have the rest to do.